Tu apoyo es vital para que canales pequeños como nuestro puedan crecer día a día. Algo tan sencillo y gratuito como suscribirse, presionar la campanita y un pulgar arriba nos ayuda enormemente. Si algo no te gusta, pulgar abajo y hazlo saber en la caja de comentarios. Muchas gracias y esperemos que disfrutes del vídeo.
Everything that has ever been done has led to you.
Grief.
Now,
Here. Everything that ended has begun. And with your
Such is your story.
Your life begins
and ends as you were born.
born in your death, descending, yet rising.
Every letter, every word, every phrase, and every action.
each an expansion in the uncertain hour before the morning.
And I walketh about, seeking whom I may devour.
Who will you turn to when you're floating in empty space?
With no helping hand present to draw you back into the light.
Nothing but silence.
Who will you turn to
When I ravage your memories.
Love. I will turn to love. You passed through it before me, sir. When I walk beyond it, will I forget it all? Who I was?
It's not for me to say, Tommy. But don't worry. It's all right. Everything's all right.
Where am I?
Inside. In time. Repeating. The cycle renewed. You are unaware.
You turned with the reversing clock.
I don't understand you.
Yes, you do. You don't. You will. And you won't.
You don't remember. And yet you do. The path is set. Finish it, Tommy. You must write your time in the stars. In the sea. On the folds and creases of the earth.
Please, leave me alone. I don't know how it ends. How am I supposed to know how it ends?
Take a walk with me. I'll show you the fragments. Your past, your present, your memories. You will forget and remember. You will complete the cycle.
How can I let go? All right, I trust you. Take me.
Hey, Dad. It's me. It's Katie. For some reason, the library was locked. We checked everywhere, except upstairs. The noise was unsettling. That hum of silence. Despite everything being in place, you weren't there anymore. While going up the stairs, I looked at the lift and remembered why we put it up in the first place. Remembering your fall. Thank God Mom was there. So, I went to my room. It's what I really came here for. You and Mom hadn't touched it one bit. Kept my things in their places and spots, because you knew how I hated people moving my stuff around. The one thing I noticed the most was the chessboard. You kept the pieces in their spots from our last match. Mom made this long ago. Do you remember it? I lost one of the pieces, got upset. To everyone's surprise, the key was here, in my room. But I wasn't surprised. Mom made this herself, as usual. I wore it to sleep. And this was yours, Dad. But seeing as I kept stealing it from you, you just went ahead and gave it to me. You even had my name put on it. I guess you kept it all there, hoping we'd finish it the day I came back. But I came too late. I was always your little bookworm. Sneaking into the library, your office. You'd hide things in your books for me to find. Little trinkets or candy. Entering the library, I thought it would be bigger. Or at least little me thought it was. All these books and stories and words and paper aging away, hidden from the world. Is this how you felt, Dad? Your visions, your stories, your poems? Gone. Before the world could learn of what you had seen and dreamed.
Still don't know if I should regret or thank God that I stopped writing and never finished what I needed to finish. Needed? Who is it that needed more from me? Still don't know if I should regret or thank God that I stopped writing and never finished what I needed to finish. Needed? Who is it that needed more from me? Still don't know if I should regret or thank God that I stopped writing and never finished what I needed to finish. Needed? Who is it that needed more from me?
We struggle in repetition. We repeat, and we repeat again. Everything is cyclical. Everyone thinks it's a straight line, but we always end up where we started. The ending we are beginning. The beginning we are ending. In the end, we never should have left you alone. But we did.
Hey, Dad, it's me. It's Benji. No. That's not right. Let me try again. Hey, Dad, it's, Come on, Benji. Colin, talk to him. It's your dad, for goodness sake. I was going to be a musician. At least, that's what I wanted to be. But my music never paid my rent or gave me food, so I went into accounting. Got a boring job that pays, at least. But I gave up. I ran away from it. Coward. Art and music color our lives. But when I gave up on it to pursue a career, I lied to myself. No, I don't need any of that anymore. That's kid stuff, I said. Looking back, well, I know what Mom would say. Tick, 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 Ben. Tick, 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 Ben. Your dad is dying and you don't even have the balls to say goodbye. This. You gave this to me, Dad. Well, I mean, what wasn't given by you and Mom. I just wish I had given your gifts more use. But I didn't. My whole life could have been more... There's no turning back now. I wish I played the piano with him again. But that's the problem. That's all I do. I wish. I never do. So I play my time away. Each second a note forming the chords that could have been. Should have been. The same regret in my demeanor, Death, should have been on me. Then what do I do? Nothing. Nothing. I try to play to drown out the noise, but where does that really get me? I'm just a tear and thunder, crying, screaming against the rain. Poor Benji, self-pity, not the musician he should have been, or the artist Mom was, or the writer you were. I can't even call you and tell you what I need to say. I love you, but I didn't tell you in the call, and that's on me. Now I have to live with it. Hey, Dad. I'm sorry I missed your calls. I was just a bit busy. I was supposed to have visited you yesterday, but I got stuck at work. I'm sure you'll understand. You know. So yeah. Anyways, I'll try and see if I can come by next week if I have some time. Again, I'm sorry I didn't come by, but I'll see what I can do next week. And I almost forgot about this until the day I opened one of the boxes and this was in it. All the memories that ran through my mind. Then I opened the notebook. There's just 7 drawings. I honestly thought I drew more in here. Now, I just wish that I had.
Down through stone and brick and memory. Down to light. Down to dark. Loneliness accompanied us from the start. From darkness we are bound as we enter our wombs with it. We are molded with it. We dream of it. We float alone in an endless void sea of stars, comforted by Divine Mother.
Where am I? Hello? Is someone there? Where am I going to? Help me! Someone help me!
But even in such a presence, we fear being alone. And so we cry out when we are born. We hate the coldness loneliness brings. It burns us. So your life begins, and mine. Two twin brothers born in a cold summer. A mother and father are happy. Time and I, wreaker of the world's destruction. Resolved here to swallow up the worlds. All beings will I digest. Father leaves for his country on war. Mother raises them alone. Father returns, seeming to have died already, although his heart beats. Years pass. Another war calls the brothers. Both apply, but only one makes the journey. The eldest went, and the youngest stayed. One carried the burden of father, while the other kept his heartbeat. One had his story erased in the earth, while the other wrote dozens more. The youngest went off and found a home with his newlywed, beautiful wife. They later have 3 children. His mother moved in.
Where's someone here? Everything's moved.
The youngest felt the guilt of his missing half and buried himself in shame in seas of books and pages. He set himself apart from his family to try to write his missing half to life, but the cost too high. Here lies engraved letters and numbers of a man who once was. All that's left of him. Everything else is dust. Ash that will one day fade. His children grow. One resentful, one distanced, and one in denial. One by one they leave the house. They evade him to the end of time. His soul drunk in rage, knowledge cursed his mind, his family neglected. He leaves his mother abandoned in a home she does not know. She dies alone. His loving wife bears him. Doesn't know where he is anymore. He calls out the dead names. He runs, despaired. Down a flight of stairs he falls, stuck in place. His mind degrades against him. Slowly he loses his movements, his speech. He stares empty. The clock takes bites off his flesh. His leg starts to rot in idleness. The doctors must remove it. He no longer knows others. He no longer knows. Terrible thing. Alzheimer's. The great disease of time. Time reigns absolute above us. Piece by piece we are removed by blackness until we are no longer we, left alone. Strong are they that don't grow mad at the darkness nibbling their souls. No darkness greater than light. No greater hiding shadow can hide the revolting lightning. It is in these days where we must confront our oldest fear and embrace it.
Or would Rector's time have to rip the curtains? Who does the clock think it is? Cold, unknowing, uncaring. It ticks to the very end of itself and doesn't wait. You will not take me, brother. It's the struggle itself toward the heights which fill my heart. So I must try. I must write. Maybe then I can be free. This disease will not be my end.
Old age, not an easy task, and one we'd all like to deny will happen.
Mom?
Tommy.
I moved into your house after we sold the other one. Your father, Theo, went to the first war after you twins were born. He promised he'd come back, and I believed him. But watching you grow, after Theo died, I took greater notice in the details. You growing ever closer to me. I raised you boys on my own, but there was only so much I could do. Work distanced me. There was never any rest. So you two looked out for each other. You were inseparable. Until one day, you weren't. And I knew I'd also lose you one day. Inevitably, you'd grow away. And I never really accepted it. Still went. But this time, not even his body was found. And you felt guilty, Tommy. I knew. But now I feared being left alone, to end up in some unknown house with unknown people. Your own reflection. We shift and change. We sleep and lose our years as the machine churns our bodies to be swept away. So we agreed, and off I went to a nursing home. But I couldn't help but feel that I was left to burn alone. Like leaves, we blossom in the spring and die in midwinter. We're it's made of glass. Gone insane, we fall from the stars of our own accord. To the ground we wither. We are afraid of life and terrified of time, because both bring the inevitable. In our moment, we blow smoke in the wind. The air forms the fog around us. Shivering tears, painted in life, touch our cheeks and skin. We're human shadows etched in stone. Smoke in wind. And time ticked away. You visited now and again, but wasn't the same. And all I had left were memories, and the feeling that I lost it all. So I wanted to stay, to evade death. And in that home I sought eternity, but slowly was losing my life. My final advice to you, Tom. The words we speak and the choices we make throughout our lives define what our final gasp will be. We try to knit our lives together, to form our own story in our shape, our will. We defy life and cry as she cuts our strings for our defiance. I feared you both being sent to war, following your father down the lake. Another war announced. You and Chuck wanted to go together, but your heart stopped you. The doctors didn't let you go. Our final tear against the storm. And so the world burns.
Time went on and I learned to hate you, Dad. You forgot about us way before you started to really forget. You'd barely show your face. Said you were busy writing, working. You stayed like that for years. We never saw a single page from you for so long. We all knew you were running away. Now I understand what it is you fear. The lack of words, the confusion, your mind going blank, not thinking straight. This was years before you started to show signs of Alzheimer's. One wonders when it really started. Or if it was always there, waiting. Move closer. Put me in your hands. Do you hear me beat? Do you hear the clock ticking? Do you feel the warmth of the life that was? In this purple heart lies only the memory of what once was a beating core. But neither beat, nevermore. When I left, I gave this to you. But all you did was stare. Stare at the flame. Were you looking for me in it? Perhaps the world was always burning, and time has its spark on all of us, waiting for the fields in our minds to dry. And so we burn, and have our souls rise up in flame. Burnt memories turn to ash. As your state progressed, you started to confuse me with your brother, my uncle. You kept calling me his name, telling me you're sorry. My name, Charles. That's my name. The name you and Ma gave me. It's weird, being called someone else's name by my own father. I feel bad for being offended. It's not even your fault. First, I felt the tremor of the impact, my entire body coming to a halt. Then an intense shock, my nervous system realizing what just happened. Flesh torn and ripped. I feel the heat. I look down and see the red. Then the pain comes in, and more red. My uncle? Nana told me stories of him. How similar we were. Angry, disobedient. He went to war and you didn't. Twins separated. And fire burned. I walked among the stars. Future fallen in my hands. Time rose me with its charms. But your tears laying in the sands. You filled the door with scars and scrying tore apart my plans. Unlocked the memoir, King's Dive. With promised sufferings I bore the weight of our fall. You kept a flighty clock ticking me back beyond recall. Air passing through and deafening my lungs as I'm in thrall. Old terror embraced me, crashing as the sea has earth to maul. Here fallen on the ground, I pulled the dirt from stone apart. The ticking clock ran loud, its arms cutting through bone my heart. These bullets flying down, they stabbed me cold, lone, open-armed. And in the ashes, brothers drown, lifting up their crowns. Certain were the fields as I lifted up my eyes in fear. Burning bright ordeals as the shifted fire now froze tears. Shattered iron shields here depicted golden souvenirs. In the smoke, you yield all the twisted chains to reappear. Standing up alone, discovered in the air, my arms upheaved, reaching out toward my brother who once held me high relieved. Melting were my fingers, mother, candle wax drenched me deceived. Drowning was old terror covered by molten memories. Time pulled down your corpse, buried beneath forever therein deep. But with ashen force our father took you down the solid creek. I wanted to be loved by you, but I never felt the love you gave me, so I felt like nothing. And to me, I was like nothing. I was nothing, and everything else around me was nothing too. I lived in shame, and I never saw the love around us. Foolish. I was foolish. I should have been a better brother, should have been a better son. Now I've missed the chances and lost it all. And each minute that passes by, I remind myself that everything that happens, that happened, that will happen, will, one day, fade away. All of it. All of us temporal beings. We're names and spirits trapped in these machines of flesh and bone, water and dust. Sweat pours from our limbs and the dust rises high above our heads. We brace and thrust the boulder uphill, and every time we reach the mountaintop, the rock falls down. We regress. The top of the mountain laughs at our fall, and yet cheers our ascent. The rock reveals the fools we are. Easily hurt, easily killed, easily broken. And yet we carry ourselves. These thoughts never leave my mind, Dad. They buzz inside me. Little fires in the night, burning in my ears, and I can't rest. There's no sleep for me. And then I remember you. I always remember you.
Dad!
Do you remember them? Their little faces, their noses, their cheeks, their hair, the color of their eyes and the way they glisten. Their faces just smiling, or crying, or looking at mine. I don't remember much, and it crushes me inside. To just remember the actions and the facts of their faces, but to not see them. How can we forget the images of our children? What excuse can we give? And so we watch them grow until we ourselves fade away. We move forward through the maze, and we get lost. This life isn't a straight path we were promised. There are rights and lefts, dead ends, U-turns, ups and downs. And we get so busy trying to find our way out that we forget our way back. Who die in love together, never having to feel the grief of being left behind. But I never left, Tom. I never left. And neither did you. And we get so busy trying to find our way out that we forget our way back. And like strings, we knot ourselves away. We tie in our own traps. We forget. We're ensnared in the maze of time. Tears drift through the valleys and the places to find waters of dust or cloud. Stuck in the whirlpool made of tears while the ocean runs past us. We feel the grief. That feeling of powerlessness. The cold hell. The gaping nothingness. Can we grieve over the living? Can we grieve over ourselves? As we age, we shift and change. Our bodies tremble, our minds slowly erase, and our souls either blossom or perish. Or does all we have left are the souvenirs in our mind of the past which once was? Left to think over them again and again until they're no longer memories but mere contaminated dreams. I pay little attention to other smell. I can barely remember this flavor in my nose anymore. I remember I love this, but I can't sense it anymore. Gone in the wind. The wind took it away. Fading images of the past which we wish in fact was still the present, and still the future. Through time and space it travels to carry the broken echoes of our minds and hearts.
Why? Everything I've done, gone.
The final gasp against the void makes every breath a protest. The silent tear quiets loud silence. And it whispers back.
This is where I am, where I've been brought to. Is this where we come to die? Forgotten, left to rot as we become burdens to others. And so I finish it, the story. And yet I didn't. Not yet. Not ever. It's never going to end, no matter how hard I try to break the cycle. ignored so many things in life, and many times pretended to forget. We live diseased by willful forgetfulness and blind ignorance. The world heads into the hole. I wish more people knew the feeling writing brings. The edge touching the surface of an empty... No amount of vision could make a man see the world for what it truly is, for we cannot bear very much reality. I should have written more, or maybe I should have written less. I don't know. I wonder if it would have made any difference to anything. Ignorance and negligence mix and dance together, melting into hatred. We're crumbling vessels, alone in life, alone in death. We don't even have our minds as company anymore. And I tried to rage, tried to ignore, to fight back against time. But I see it now. I hear the voice of silence. I see noise stop its thunder. I finished it. Sure, I finished it. The whisper cuts violent, silent. The silent listens to the teardrop and asks where it was when it laid the foundations of the storm. What is this place? Where am I exactly?
Outside the circle. Every time I painted, I never really knew where to start. I'd get lost staring, nothing at the screen. One day, Dad saw me. He took my hand and put it on the canvas. He let go, but my hand stayed. A small, misshapen circle of blue ink marked the sheet.
My ring. Not an easy promise to make. The promise of faithful and unending love till the very end. But does there have to be an end? Oh, what does it mean? What does any of this mean? What was this all even for?
It is a story. A story among millions. Another star in the sky to shine and fade away after it dies out. Now to the other side, to the light. Maybe you'll find something there.
Time reigns absolute above us. It exists without conscience, without care, and without remorse. Through time, life exists, dies, and is reborn. It devours all, just to build all anew, over and over and over again. All things die with time, and yet all things live. Time is conquered as the ticking clock stops. Death, the deceiver's tool, is conquered by the dying god who dies to live and rise. Death defeated by dying. We are made finite to gaze back into the infinite unseen. Time devours us into the darkness of the night, so that we may see light of day once again. Through the mouth of stormy black holes, existence is swallowed whole, so it can exist once more. And the end begins anew. And here am I, alone and afraid.
Leave me alone!
A disease devouring my mind.
Get out of my head! Oh, get out!
Facing my own fears.
Wake up! Wake up!
As I try to accept.
Oh, wake up, Tom! Please wake up! Wake up, Tom! Was someone here? Someone was here!
And from this prison.
Someone! Leave me alone! Who's been here? Is anyone here? Oh, get out of my house! Get out of my head! Oh, get out! Get out! Get out of my head! Anyone!
I find my key. Love, unspoken of, unheard of.
Our dear silent storm.
It is love which devours time.
By being devoured.
Silence conquers all.
This noise surrounds it.
We are lost to be found.
All memories are forgotten to be remembered.
Dusk brings forth the dawn.
Love describes for us the colors of the sunrise.
And you remember.
And so do I.
I was under the tree, and you came to me. You held me as I leaned back and kissed my shoulder, your arms around me and in your hands. This locket. I opened it to reveal its secret. I held my hair as you laced the golden chains around me.
Everything that has ever been done has led to you.
Breathe.
Now,
Here. Everything that ended has begun.
Such is your story.
Your life begins
and ends as you were born.
And your death, descending, yet rising.
Every letter, every word, every phrase, and every action.
Each an expansion in the uncertain hour before the morning.
And I walketh about, seeking whom I may devour.
Who will you turn to when you're floating in empty space?
With no helping hand present to draw you back into the light.
Nothing but silence.
Who will you turn to
When I ravage your memories.
Love, I will turn to love. You passed through it before me, Cheryl. When I walk beyond it, will I forget it all? Who I was?
It's not for me to say, Tommy. But don't worry. It's all right. Everything's all right.
Where am I?
Inside. In time. Repeating. The cycle renewed. You are unaware.
You turned with the reversing clock.
I don't understand you.
Yes, you do. You don't. You will. And you won't.